Hi guys, my name is Anirudh and I put up this photo on Instagram and a lot of you asked me how I edited the photo. So I thought I'll show it to you guys. This is the photo that I chose to edit. So from the photo you can see that I chose a light background and I requested my brother to wear a dark t-shirt so that it creates some sort of a contrast which will help me later on in the editing. I use this app called Snapseed to edit most of my photos, which is a great tool. So after importing the photo into the tool, let's go to tune images. And here my objective is to create a high contrast image. So the first thing that I'm going to do is slightly increase the brightness and increase the contrast a lot. And once I do that, I'm going to reduce the ambience so that it creates more contrast. And I'm going to reduce the saturation and make it look like a black and white photo. Then I'm going to blow out the highlights and then reduce the shadows. This will create a contrasty image. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the structure so that the background is distinguished from the foreground. And I'm also increasing the sharpening a little bit so that I get a tad sharp image. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to crop the photo to a aspect ratio of 16 is to 9. So I like to use 16 is to 9 because most of the mobile phones use 16 is to 9 ratio. The next thing that I'm going to do is select the brush tool and then select the exposure brush with an exposure of +1. I'm going to paint the background completely white to create a high key image. So I'm going to select the eye tool to see where I paint so that I don't paint on the foreground. And I'm going to repeat this process 2 to 3 times so that I get a completely white background to create the high key image that I want. So if you do paint on the foreground, you can easily erase that using the erase tool. So go on and continue to paint it until you get a completely white background. So I'm going to select the exposure tool again, increase the exposure to +1 and paint the background white again. So to be more precise, I would suggest that you guys zoom in and then paint. So repeat the process again. Select the exposure brush with an exposure of +1, paint on it again. So I still see some of the background that is being left. I'm going to paint it until the background goes completely white, just like this. Now I'm going to use the healing brush to remove these parts of black spots so that the background is completely white. So now you can see that there is a high key image To create the double exposure effect, I'm going to go to the double exposure option and choose an image of my liking. So this is the image that I used in my previous image. So I'm going to choose the lighten mode. What it does is it's going to fill up the darkened areas. Now I'm going to adjust the image to my liking. And next thing that I'm going to do is reduce the strength. And once that's done, voila, the picture is ready. And this is how you create a double exposure image. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you so much.